Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today I'm going to be doing a review of the Dark Knight Trilogy Movie Masters Premium Box Set. As you can see, this is a 3-pack, so you got one figure for each of the films in the trilogy. It is was a Toys R Us exclusive. I got this one from Amazon for £20, so just to start off with, £20 for 3 figures of pretty nice quality is very, very good. And they come in this very nice shaped box here, so it's a bit like a kind of Hall of Armour type of deal. Very nice. So it says Adult Collector at the top there, and then over here on the back we have each figure showing what they come with. So each figure, as you can see, comes with a stand and a poster, and then you just have nice images of each, and there's like a little bio of each. So I'll just stop it on each one. There you go. And then there's the next one. And then there is the next one. So it's just a really quick bio of each film, and that's pretty much it for the box. So let's get this thing open and take a look at the figures. So first up in the box, when you take all your figures out, you will have these. So you get 3 of these little gold envelopes, and as you can see they have the name for each one. So we got Begins, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises, and then down here we have a base for each one. So I'll just show you those. So here is the Begins base. Here is the Dark Knight base. They each have just the one peg for the left foot. And then here is the Dark Knight Rises base. And then if we open them up, inside each one we get a nice, very thick piece of card that is basically like a poster. And it's a very, very nice background for the figures. So what you do is you slot that inside here, and then you can stand your figure up, and then you've got a really nice little display. Then here is the Dark Knight one. So I actually have a large poster version of this. And then here is the Dark Knight Rises one. So essentially they are just the main promotional pictures that you could get. So this one just says, they each say the name on, just like the base, and then this one says obviously Welcome to a World Without Rules at the top, and then this one says A Fire Will Rise at the top there. So let's get the figures out here and take a look. And now there is each one on their base with the little poster card on it. So let's just take a quick look at the figures individually right now. So I'll just move these to one side. So here is the Batman Begins figure, and it is my favourite of the bunch. Very, very nice detail. Just a quick comparison with the Dark Knight version with the head. It is a smaller head than that one. So there is the comparison between that. And then just as a size comparison, this guy just stands a little bit taller than the Batman Begins one too. So the head is not the same head sculpt, and neither is any of the body, to be honest. So that's that. And then as for a body sculpt, it looks absolutely fantastic. Got the really, really nice bat logo on the chest there. That looks awesome, that symbol. And then just moving around, it just looks absolutely awesome from every single angle. It does have the solid cape, which is kind of rippled at the bottom there. It's kind of like folded over and whatnot. And then very, very nice belt. The belts are actually different as well. So as you can see here, the 2 belts are different. Essentially the only difference is this little machine doohickey thing here is closer to the front than the back of this section, and it has more silver paint on it at the top there, whereas this one is a little smaller obviously, and it's just kind of in the middle of the two. That's pretty much the only difference between the belts, really design wise. Apart from that, they're pretty much the same. So as for articulation for this guy, head moves left, right, up a little bit, and then down a little bit, and then it has the most articulation in the arms because it doesn't have any shoulder pads on here, so they can move all over like that and do a full 360 aside from the cape. So they kind of move out a little bit when you do that. Bends at the elbow, rotates at the bicep, also rotates at the wrist, and then down here it has a waist joint, and it also has an ab crunch, which doesn't move too far forward but moves back a good amount. And then the legs do the full splits and go forward and back. Then we have a single knee joint there, rotation at the thigh, and then also just a single foot joint at the foot, just taking it up and down. And then we have the holes in the feet. So that's pretty much everything for all three figures, really, articulation wise. They all have pretty much exactly the same articulation, except for, as I was saying, these guys have the shoulder pads on there, so their arms don't move up just as much as that one does, but everything else is pretty much exactly the same. Now, with this guy, obviously, this is the Dark Knight one, he has a cloth cape. So, obviously, if you had a Batmobile that you could fit him in, as for a 6-inch figure, I guess you can go ahead and do that with this guy. But what it mainly helps with is the fact that the articulation in the other two, yes, it's there, but just like a lot of DC Universe Classics figures as well, you can't do much with it. However, with this guy, because he has the cloth cape, you can obviously get him crouching down and whatnot, and the cloth's going to move out the way so that you can get him to do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, I do feel that these figures would be greatly benefited from some ankle pivot and a much better head joint, especially seeing as this guy can crouch down and do all these different kind of poses because of the cape. The head is kind of lacking in articulation, so he's pretty much always going to be facing that much forward because it's only that much up and down. That's really not a lot. So yeah, I really do wish there was a bit more articulation in the head and in the feet for a pivot. That pretty much goes for all DC Universe Classics for the feet. But for the most part, the detail on this guy is absolutely phenomenal. Looks absolutely awesome with these slightly lighter tones. You got all of the little lines and detail right down in here into the fabric. Really, really nicely done action figures. They really have detailed these things extremely well. I did find that with each of them, these kind of glossy parts on the boots of each felt a little bit sticky. Just kind of like some kind of oil or lubricant or something, or maybe just because of the type of paint that they've used or something. It's just a little bit kind of tacky, a little bit sticky. Not too bad. And then what we have here with the Dark Knight Rises version is essentially the exact same body mold with a different Bruce Wayne head, and this actual paint scheme on here isn't like other Bruce Wayne heads. This film was supposed to be set 5 years after The Dark Knight, so therefore he's got a little bit of grey hair on the side here, and we still have some nice brown tones going through there as well. So very, very nice paint job on that hair, and the face likeness is just fantastic. I think that really does look like Christian Bale very, very nicely, especially for a 6-inch representation too. And obviously another major difference that we have here is the paint scheme. So everywhere on here where you got this kind of bluish grey type of colour, we have a more kind of dull bronze kind of colour. I guess that's how I can explain that, a kind of bronzy grey kind of colour. It looks a lot better in person, and possibly on the camera it's coming across more kind of grey silverish kind of a colour than what you will see in pictures. On pictures they make it look very brown, very bronze brown kind of a mix, and doesn't really look very nice, but in hand it does suit the costume very, very well. I don't know if it was actually different in the film or if it's just meant to represent it being dirty or whatever. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but it does look extremely nice. Now that's not all for differences, because this guy comes with the broken cowl. So obviously he's fought Bane and his cowl's a bit broken here. It's just like a kind of floppy rubbery plastic, but there's no way you're going to be able to put it on him. So as a quick size comparison, it's about the same size as that, yeah. But there's no way that you can actually put it over his head because of the moulded on hair and whatnot. But it's an awesome thing to get him to hold, or maybe to give to a Bane action figure, or just put on the floor next to him, just in some awesome display. Maybe him on the floor, I don't know, bleeding out or something, and have this next to him. I think that for ACBA kind of stuff, I think this is an absolutely fantastic piece. And as for a size comparison, over on the left we have a DC Universe Classics Batman, the classic style mold, which is just a tiny bit taller than this New 52 style mold. And then over on the right we have a Dark Knight Returns Batman. And then in the middle we have the DC Collectibles Batman from Arkham Origins, which is a 7-inch figure. So as you can see, they're a little bit smaller than your average 6-inch Universe Classics figure. But they do fit in pretty well, especially obviously with all of the other kind of Movie Master kind of lines. So the fact that they come with the base and the poster is really awesome. They're essentially free for the price that I picked them up. Awesome deal. I just really love this extra added bonus with the Dark Knight Rises figure, and I definitely think that you guys should pick this up if you're a fan of the Nolan films. So thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of the review. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, it's Homerino123, and if you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.